when we get promoted to be a manager, we often have very little training. There are very few other jobs where you would be asked to do it without any training. And so what happens is that we're really pleased we've got the job. We're quite kind of motivated to do it. And we say things like, oh, we're going to have weekly meetings and all the rest of it. And then something goes wrong. Somebody that you're managing turns up late a couple of days, or you ask them to do something and they push back, or you ask them to do it and they leave it and it doesn't happen. And we've now got to make that work. We've got to have that conversation. We've got to change things. But we've been given no tools to be able to do that. And so what we will often do in early management stages is we will lean on the things that we have got. You've got to make it work somehow. And the primary three things that we will lean on at a time like that, the least common is status, but it does get lent on. I'm not saying people jump up and down and say, I'm the boss now, you've got to listen to me. But they will perhaps make sure everything comes through them and, make sure that they take this, you give it to me and I'll take it to the boss. Or they control things by using their status. The least common. Some people will use their technical capability. They've probably been promoted because they're more technically capable than the people below them. So if they can use this superior knowledge in some way to maintain control of what happens, then it should work. And the most common is that people will use this sort of reasonableness, this friendliness and friendships, call in favours, be incredibly nice, be very reasonable in order to get things done. Now, there is nothing wrong with any of those three things. Nothing wrong at all. I don't mind having a friendly manager. I don't mind having a manager that knows what they're talking about. And I don't mind the manager using their status. Sometimes somebody's got to make decisions, they've got to move things forward, they've got to front things up for the team. So there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But if we use them as the basis for management, then over the long term, things can start to go wrong. And we explore that in detail and what the groups often come up with. For example, if you're using relationships as your basis for management, then if you break the relationship, what have you got? And a lot of people start, if they're using that, they start to think, I can't break the relationship because I won't be able to manage. And what if they turn everybody else against me? And we kind of spirals out of control. So while there's nothing wrong with those things, they can stop working for us. So this program is about identifying what we're like, what crutches do we lean on, how do we get things done, and what can we replace that with? So we start putting in place different ways of managing for people so that they might still be friendly, because trying to ask somebody who's friendly to not be friendly is not going to work, it's not authentic, but to not use that as the basis for their management. And the same with all of the others.